Hey family, we're back inside the maze with another dose of the critical breakdown. It's your girl, Ms. Mofilla, and this man over here, man, you don't know Boston if you don't know this man's name at this point, because he is literally a part of everything at this point from way back. Listen, we're gonna talk about all that is the one and only Mark Merren, man, AKA Motivate Merren. Any other names? Any other ones? Just
lately it's just Motivate, and right now too we've been running with Marathon Merren.
Okay.
Because I'm about to run the Boston Marathon.
Wait, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, we about to get into that for real.
I don't know. I lost my mind.
You done lost your damn mind. But listen, we're here to talk about it's a track off of an EP you dropped last year, right? It was last year.
Exactly a year ago.
Exactly a year ago. And listen, if you don't know this, y'all might have known him in other spaces, but Mark be spitting them bars, okay? Motivate, Mr. Marathon, all the names. He be spitting them bars. And I wanted to go over the lyrics for the intro, AKA Affirmations, on your EP Fog, which stands for Fear of Greatness?
The Fear of Greatness.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that, man. Yeah. It's the critical breakdown. Let's get straight to it.
Yeah. Look, you ain't gotta like me, but gotta respect my pen. Shitting on these rappers like on my life, it depends.
Now, I want to start off with the title of your EP because I feel like it speaks volumes, right?
Yeah.
To your story to a certain extent, right?
Definitely.
Right. So tell me, what was the meaning behind FOG, Fear of Greatness?
I mean, acronym, the fog, being cloudy, not being able to see through. And like that fear of greatness can clog your vision. You know what I mean? And that's been the premise behind a lot of my music since I became a solo artist, hence the name Motivate as well. It's always been about overcoming those mental obstacles, what I'm saying, that get in our way, because as creative people, I think that's the thing that gets in the way of a lot of us really following our dreams and pursuing what we really want. We're inside of our head a lot, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes we're worrying about the criticism of what other people will think. And, and also you always hear the phrase with greatness comes great responsibility,
Absolutely.
right? And that's where the fear of greatness comes in sometimes, with being great. We're all born with a gift. I feel like we're all born with that greatness within us, but it does come with that responsibility. And a lot of us are afraid of that responsibility and afraid of the things that come with it. And a lot of times it does come with that, that criticism. And once you put something out there, then it's in the world for people to just say whatever they think about it. And, and that stops a lot of us. So, and it can really cloud your vision. And that's what my message is. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that.
Coming over here and prophesying in my life like that. I didn't really appreciate it.
It was okay if I curse, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
please curse. Absolutely.
Cool. I don't really curse too much, but
But you didn't have to speak on my life like that, and I don't appreciate it. But no, it's real. People don't realize, especially being a creative, we're sensitive about our shit, yo.
Yeah, definitely.
So a lot of times we'll hold ourselves back because we're afraid of that greatness that we might ensue, because like you said, it comes with a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of creative people do have that gift of discernment too. So we feel. We feel real things too, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be able to, it just comes with the job. It comes with the territory. So you got to be able to cut through that.
Okay, now we're gonna get into these lyrics, so this intro, the affirmations, because I feel like it leads to, it pretty much tells your story in a snippet, and I feel like I love that when I can kind of do the two things that I love to do the most, right? Have conversations and break down lyrics, okay? So you started off saying, oh, you already know, you watched the show, Mark. I'm going to quote your lyrics like an asshole, so I would say forgive me, but I'm not sorry. So don't forgive me, right?
This is fun.
So you start off saying, you don't gotta like me, but you gotta respect my pen. Now let's just, let me just stop right there.
Yeah.
Because if anybody grew up in Boston, like I grew up in Boston, we know this man's pen, okay? Can we talk about your journey, the beginning, right? When we were just rapping. What was the name of the group? What was the name of the group?
You want to go way back.
I'm going way back, absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, when I first started doing music, I was in a group called LSD. It was called LSD. Shout out to my homies. You know, a lot of these dudes still, you know, still artists. Shout out to my brother Harv, you know what I'm saying? Boss City HD, my brother Core, my cousin, Mr. Bring It. So yeah, it was the four of us.
LSD.
Yeah, it was called LSD. I ain't gonna say what LSD stood for, though. I'm not gonna do that. I won't do that to us. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, you know, we were four young men, man, out of Roxbury and Dorchester, and you know, we're from that era of, you know, where it was about being like a full performer, like real artist development. We did everything. You know, we danced, we sang, we spit, you know what I'm saying? And we was in the studio, like, you know, like I'm talking about 91, 92. Whew. So at the time I was 10 years old. So yeah, you know, so I've been rhyming since then. So I've been writing rhymes since then, you know, like at a very young age. You know, the first time I recorded, I had already started writing, but the first time I had ever recorded, one of my group members, they wrote, like my cousin and Harv, they wrote my verse together. And I was like, nah, this ain't
this ain't it.
At that age, it only happened one time.
And you was like, nah, I gotta write my own.
Because I was already writing,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's why my cousin snatched me up, because I was already showing signs of, you know, being an artist at that age.
I'm so glad you talk about
then. Yeah.
I'm glad you talk about that age and era, because I mean, I grew up in the church. I met you kind of through the church.
Yeah.
Right?
My manager. Yeah, my manager at the time. Yep. Yeah.
And I feel like during that time, everybody that pursued music went about it that way. We were learning all of the ins and outs, but we had to learn how to dance, sing, perform, breath control, vocal lessons, all of that, the actual true artist development. So then I'm going to go on to these bars, because he started talking a little bit of his shit because he's had this training, right? He said, shitting on these rappers like on my life, it depends. Started losing focus, so I adjusted the lens. Now the bigger picture's in motion, watch my revenge. Now listen. I love bars like this, okay? Because when you see somebody's story, and I feel like, is it safe to say you've kind of had that underdog story where you've been putting in work for years, and I feel like even now you're not necessarily getting the recognition we feel like you deserve, right? Do you feel like, am I accurate in saying that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's twofold. So I do feel like that. Like I feel like people might miss my lyrical ability because of all the other things that I do.
Can you list that? That's what I was waiting for. The magical words. List those things that you do, Mark, because it's so multifaceted.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm just the way I look at it is I'm an artist, but I use different mediums. You know what I'm saying? Like I paint with different colors. You know what I'm saying? Like so, but yeah, I'm an MC. I'm a producer, and like the full producer. Not only am I a beat maker, but I am a producer.
Actually producing a full song.
I can produce full songs, full projects. And then, you know, how I made my presence felt in the city, you know, the past decade or so is just being somebody that is like an event planner. You know what I'm saying? That my whole goal was just to cultivate an artist community in the city. At the time when I started doing it, I felt like there was a void at that time, you know, like starting like 2009, 2010, I started doing consistent, you know, showcases and, you know, different type of events to bring people together. You know, I had a Motivate Monday, which was like one of the longest running weekly hip hop showcase series. And then also I had Branded Authentic, which was a monthly hip hop series. And then I'm also co-founder of the Stew Showcase Beat Battle, which is one of the, you know, premier beat showcases in the city, which spawned a lot of things. And that's just how I feel about my journey. Like I've helped create and revitalize and bring a certain energy that wasn't there at a certain time. So people more so associate me with that versus the artistry, you know what I'm saying? And that's on me. You know what I'm saying? That's that I tend to look in the mirror. So that's on me because of the fog. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fog, like, you know, like focusing my energy and all these other things, you know, I would tend to doubt my artistry. You know what I'm saying? Doubt my second guess myself. Like, all right, well, damn, you know, like I have a responsibility here. I feel the responsibility here, and I kind of neglected myself.
Got you. Now I want to go down to these next bars because I got some follow-up questions for you. You said, talking success, I'm breathing. That means I'm blessed, okay? With money, I'm not impressed. Integrity over checks. First, listen, that's why we rock. You understand me? Because I'm all about integrity over checks. But then you continued on and you said, my mind is like a muscle. So that is, I'm sorry. My mind is like a muscle. So that is my biggest flex, okay? At all costs, protect my property of intellect. Now, listen, you talked about all the creative avenues that you've gone down, the different scenes that you created. I can say from witnessing it firsthand, people weren't really into Boston music scene like you have been. You know what I mean? You were one of the pioneers that created a Boston music scene. I'm gonna call it what it is. Branded Authentic was the first showcase I knew that I would go to and be able to know who was the hottest people rapping in the city, so to speak. Talk about that longevity to still be here now and be still a prevalent voice in the city.
I mean, listen, like my thought process behind the whole thing, like I said, is I felt like it was a void that was missing and it needed to be filled. And I'm not the first, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I did anything that was necessarily super groundbreaking, but I feel like I feel like I carried on tradition at the right time. You know, I think that, you know, there's different eras and there's different, you know, and we have to acknowledge that the energy before us, regardless of whether or not we were like actually aware of it, it still existed and it gave us a platform to be able to do what we do. So I know exactly like somewhat where I got some of the steam from. Like I remember at the time, a person I was looking at Edo G. At the time, like around that time, 2009, 2010, that's what he was doing. He was doing showcases. He was bringing people into the city. I remember he, you know, he had the Boston Hip Hop Fest type thing that he was involved with. He had brought J Electronica. You know, he was in that realm, and I saw what he was doing, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. We have to make a contribution. Like if I'm an artist and I want to get myself heard, how am I going to be of service to others too? Like what am I bringing to the table outside of me just saying, hey, I can sing, right? Everybody can sing, right? Everybody's an artist. So I was like, I took a page out of his book. You know what I'm saying? Wherever that, you know, shout out to Lino from the Floor Lords. All these people were doing, you know, different showcases, but it wasn't feeding our generation per se. You know what I'm saying? And there was a new wave of artists coming. And so, you know, and Motivate Monday started out as my album release party. You know what I mean? And I was like, but I had already started Branded Authentic. So Branded Authentic was going as a monthly. Motivate Monday, the name of my first project was Motivate. They gave me a Monday. I was like, we're gonna call it Motivate Monday. And then I was like, we gotta keep this going. I need it every week. Can I get every Monday? Bet, you can have Mondays. Nothing happens on Mondays.
To cultivate a night on a Monday is
and it became one, you know, I ran it straight for like 6 years straight. You know what I'm saying? I don't know of a weekly hip hop showcase that happened for 6 years straight.
Come on.
Every single Monday.
Come on.
And
I mean, like I said, that was my introduction. So you speak about the people that were before you, and I appreciate that humbleness about you, because you always will pay homage to those where it deserves. But for somebody like me, who was in that newer generation, who wasn't quite tapped in with the Edo G's, Motivate Monday and the Branded Authentics, that was my introduction to, we got talent around here. What can I go and find at your event? So that's why in my world, Mark's the mover. He's the pioneer for me, okay? He's the pioneer for me. But let's continue on to these lyrics, all right? You keep talking that grown man-ish, and I'm here for that grown man rap, okay? He said, I long-term invest, and I live off my interest. See what he did there, right? The Grim Reaper came knocking, told him I ain't finished yet. My baby girl is watching, so I owe her nothing less. Yo, that's that grown man shit. Y'all know nothing about that. First things first, I got to get in your business, Mark, because we've known each other for a while. That near death? You had some near death moments? Like, what's going on?
No, I mean, nothing like in particular.
Okay.
Nothing, you know, like health-wise per se, but just lifestyle-wise.
Got you. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't taking care of myself. You know what I mean? I was living a very what I would say like reckless lifestyle. Even you know, even throughout you know, I was very functional, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even throughout things, you know, going well in my life, I was still, you know, just living reckless, you know what I'm saying? Just not not eating right.
Yeah.
You know, drinking a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I met Mark in the party world, so I understand.
Yeah.
I understand it.
And you know, and over the past, you know, I would say like, you know, since my daughter was born, my life changed.
I was gonna ask.
You know what I mean? Like that completely woke me up. That woke me up from living that way, and it was a gradual thing. And you know, even down to the way I eat now. You know what I'm saying? Like I became plant-based almost 8 years ago.
Come on, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So just living a healthier lifestyle, being intentional.
And you also stopped smoking weed, right?
Yeah, I don't really smoke. I still enjoy the flower. I will say that. Like I will say that. Like I still think it's a great plant, but I do not indulge in it anymore. You know what I'm saying? So like even all of that, you know, like, and even drinking, like you know, the way I pick my spots. You know what I'm saying? With how I do things. So now, that's what it was. Like I felt like when I look back at my life, I was just like, damn, if I would have continued on the path that I was on, you know, it could have been a close one. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Now, you mentioned that your baby girl's watching, so I owe her nothing less, and how much she's changed your life when she got here, right? I also got to get your business as a woman. Being a girl dad, did that change your perspective on the women's species?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I realize that y'all are born this way.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all are born this way, you know, like, but yeah, you know, I have so much, just gratitude, you know, for my daughter. I mean, like, you know, I feel like, you know, she chose me. You know what I'm saying? So, it definitely changed my perspective on life as a whole, and definitely how I treat women. And I've always been closer to women anyway. You know, like I've always, like, growing up mama's boy. My pops has always been, my parents have been married for, you know, almost 50 years. So I've never had that issue, but I've always been close to my mom. I always been close to my sisters, you know what I'm saying? Like my older sister was like, you know, one of my best friends growing up, you know, so, but yeah, it definitely changed my perspective on how I treat women. And I gained a certain level of understanding. I'm like, I wasn't bullshitting. I'm like, yo, y'all really are born this way. Y'all are wired this way. And it took me to have a little person in front of me to be like, oh, okay.
This is literally just how they are.
This is just how y'all are. And super smart and super bright and intuitive, and you know, so she's the best.
That's
Shout
dope.
out to Corinne.
Oh, that's so dope. I love a good girl dad. I love it.
She's right here. She's in the cut with us right now.
She said, I'm not even coming in here for this. All right, I got my iPad. I'm chilling. Now let's get back into these bars, because you really got real in these next set of bars, and I felt it in my spirit when I heard it, right? You said, I'm still too close to broke. So excited for what's next. I'm just marching through the madness. To my future palace. Thinking worldly like an atlas while I pen these classics. Like that timeless one from Edo. Man, I gotta have it. First of all, I see what you did there. The little, you know, paying homage to the OGs. But talking about being too close to broke. Listen.
Yeah.
I felt that
play on the words, you know, too close, the song by Next, too close to broke, so excited for what's next.
I see what you did
know,
there. But I took it in my spirit as like you've been putting in all this work for all these years, right? And you still, I can relate to that. You still like right here, one step away from being broke. What is that? How do you still sustain knowing that no matter how much we push, we're only so far right now? Yeah,
I mean, you know, ultimately it's because, you know, the way I think, I mean, I would do it for free. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like,
real.
Like I love what I do, and that's the most important part. That's the most important part is quality of life. Like, do you really like enjoy what you're doing? I would do all of this for free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was like so excited for what's next. You know, and more than anything, it's a mindset thing. Like once you know, I'm at a place where, you know, a lot of things have just been a hustle. You know, we're good at hustling.
Yep.
You know, I think just our culture, our people, you know, my family is from Honduras, Central America, you know what I'm saying, by way of the Caribbean. We know how to hustle. We know how to get to a dollar. Getting to a dollar is not necessarily a problem, right? But how do we really, keep that dollar? How do we build? You know, everybody likes to use the buzzwords, generational wealth, and all of these things. But it's more so like, how do we start treating our hobbies and our hustles like real business?
Come on.
And you know, and I arrived at that point, and it all falls in line. You know, becoming a father, you know, getting older, and not living that lifestyle because it's all fast. You know, you're doing what you love to do. You're having fun. You're not thinking about it. You're just going. Yeah. And I spent a lot of time just going, and now I'm approaching a lot of this from a business mindset now. So, you know, so now we're gonna get it. Now we're gonna be able to at least make a living off what we love to do. It's not necessarily about, you know, millions of dollars. That's not for everybody. But it's more so making an impact and making a solid living off of what you enjoy doing.
And I'm so glad you spoke about that, because I want to go over these last couple bars of your intro and then ask a question just about what you said. But let's get to the bars, right? He said, "I'm in the kitchen cooking beats just to support my habit." I love this. I love this type of talk right here. "Self-sufficient. Everything I need is in my cabinet." Talk your shit, Mark, okay? Talk your shit. "Jack of many trades, plus I got them all mastered, okay? You're either a liability or you're an asset. If not the latter," with the latter, because he did a play on words there. "From the top, you're denied access." I gotta keep going because I want to stop, but I'm gonna keep going. He says, "Still the same old Merren, just better mentally. Demented flow, your favorites rappers, barely a memory." Good God. "Before the pandemic, I put in that work. Essentially," it's the play on words, essential workers, because anyway. "So when you're talking mass, I'm Boston. You gotta mention me." Come on, Mark. Like those last bars, I was like, yeah, we're gonna talk about this song right here, because it literally paints the clear picture of your actual story. But I would like to know, with everything that you've done, all the avenues of creativity that you've been a part of, what do you want your legacy to be?
You know, my main legacy, I just want people to know that I cared. You know what I'm saying? Like that I really, you know, that I just wanted to make a contribution and I cared. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I really cared about, you know, the artistry, the art always comes first. And you know, and that's why in some instances I actually did put myself to the back burner, because it wasn't just about me. It's about us, like the greater good. Like how can we really make an impact as a whole and really, you know, set the stage for the ones coming up after us. And we're seeing it now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're seeing it now. And once again, a lot of the people coming after us don't necessarily, a lot of them don't know me. Real. Some people know me. Right. But a lot of them don't even know me or know the work that I say we put in, because there's a lot of us that are still out here on the scene that was there, right there in the trenches when a lot of this was happening. A lot of the artists that are prevalent on the scene now, your Latrell James, your Dutch Rebels, your Real Peas. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like these are all people that were, you know, shout out to D Loop, shout out to Trench, my partners in business and my brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like these are all people that were an integral part of setting the stage for all the things that we're seeing happen in the city. You know, shout out to all the people that are making things happen, you know, all the women. Shout out to the women.
Say it one more time.
Shout out to the women out here that are making things happen. But even people that are, you know, that have these business ventures now, they were there. They were present on the scene, paying attention to what's going on, and they saw what was happening, and they figured out this is the void I need to fill. This is how I contribute. So, you know, that's my message to everybody coming up now. I love what I'm seeing, to all the artists. This next wave of artists, there's so many talented artists. There's so many different types of platforms. We're seeing certain venues open up to us that would never, you know, but it's all connected. So now I'm at a point where it's like, yeah, I can take care of myself more.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about it.
That's dope. And I feel like it's gotta feel good to sit back and watch the dreams or the visions that you wanted for the city coming into fruition. It's gotta be dope.
That's how I feel.
So listen, he's on this platform. I've seen him on others, but don't forget to pay homage just like he did for his forefathers. Don't ever forget about Motivate Merren. You understand me?
Shout out to all the dope, you know, platforms out there, and you know, and I always want to make that clear. You know, I want to build with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning from y'all too. You know, and because I used to see it even in my generation as well. Like sometimes we would shy away from the generation before us too. You know, just because based off the approach, or maybe we felt like they was old. They old.
And I mean, let's be real. The old heads used to always be like, "Oh, young bucks, y'all don't know what y'all doing." Type energy.
And we look at them but now I'm the old head in a way, right?
Now we the aunties and uncles.
You know what I'm saying?
Chill.
But I have a lot to offer. You know what I'm saying? So that's my message, you know, to the people coming up now, man, like doing y'all thing. Like I support all of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like I really do. A lot of times I pull up and I'm in the cut, you know what I'm saying? Paying attention to what's going on. And, you know, we have a lot to offer each other. So I'm always here to build that bridge and connect with people that's doing the same thing. But don't feel like you doing something new, you know? I've never felt that way. And a lot of people, you know, tend to feel like they doing something new, and you're not necessarily doing something new. You're just doing something now.
That's a bar in itself.
And we're here to support it. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to support y'all.
And what I love about you, Mark, is that you don't just say it. You know what I'm saying? Your work speaks for itself. He is definitely an open page. You can always reach out to him, and he is always there if he can be. So I appreciate that. Continue to work in your purpose, because it definitely has made a change in the city.
Likewise. And cheers to you. You know what I'm saying?
Mark.
On building your platform.
Thank you.
And it's beautiful to watch, because, you know, 10 years ago, you know, I would have never thought. I would have never thought I'd see Miss Mo Filler in front of this camera as much as I see her in front of the camera. And I'm super proud of you, and you're shining bright. So just keep shining. Keep shining.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Now listen, let everybody know all the million places that they can find you, see you, all the good stuff.
Listen, man, you could follow me at Motivate Merren on all socials. It's Motivate Merren on everything. The Fog is available. You know, we dropped it last year. I'm gonna be working on a lot of new music. But definitely go rock with The Fog. It's an incredible project. It's streaming everywhere. Yeah, streaming everywhere.
And it's real music, like real bars. Like you're gonna get some real hip hop. I need you to understand
that's what we do. But definitely go support the Bandcamp page. So it's motivatemerren.bandcamp.com. That's where you know, I really want the support for the music, where you could purchase it, but otherwise you can stream it everywhere. And then shout out to Beat Club Podcast. I'm co-founder of the Stu Showcase and Beat Club Podcast. So shout out to my homies, Do It All Loops, Trench. So you can follow us at Beat Club Podcast on everything. It's one of the premier platforms for music producers out there from the city and beyond. Like our audience is more so beyond the city, but the whole city rocks with us as well. But we rock with producers from all over the world. So make sure y'all tap in with us, and yeah, man, that's about it.
Keep doing it, man. Just follow that man, and everything he's doing is authentic, okay? Know that. And while you're at it, make sure you follow me on everything, Ms. Mo Filler. Make sure you also follow my website, MsMoFiller.com. And while you're at it, make sure you follow InsideTheMaze on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, and hit that little notification bell down at the bottom so you can keep track of everything we're doing here at Inside the Maze, man. It's the Critical Breakdown. Ms. Mo Filler, Motivate Merren. We finally got you up here. We got it done.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Peace out, family.